Hi everyone, welcome to another video. I know I have some new followers. I really appreciate that you're watching my channel. And for those of you who don't know, there's a reason for why I call myself the Honest Perfume Reviewer. From the beginning, that was like 3 years ago, I called myself something else. I can't even remember the name now. Maybe like it was My Fragrance Journey or Kiki's, I can't remember. But I found that when I was following other reviewers, that a lot of them were like in collaboration with companies or brands, or they had, affiliate links, or they were getting sent lots of free bottles. You can see some influencers, they have like they have whole houses of perfumes, like the whole line from Xerjoff and stuff. And I just can't take recommendations from people like that seriously because they're not spending their own money. And I spend my own money on fragrance. I will accept free samples, but not free bottles. I just actually yesterday was contacted by a friend of mine. I mean, we're friends through the perfume community. We probably would hang out if she lived here, but she's like 8 hours away. So she comes here for like our meetup sometimes. She has a son here. But she has her own brand. They focus like all on natural ingredients. And I have her first fragrance. She's now releasing her second. She wanted to send me a free bottle, but I did decline. I said I will accept a free sample, but not bottles, because I don't want to feel the pressure to say something positive if my opinion is that, that I don't, if I don't like it. But I do like her first fragrance. The name of it is W for wood, and the brand is called Naheli, Naheli. She has her own website. I did buy it. Well, I got a little discount because she was at she was at one of these, like a beauty fair or something, and it was 10%, but that was for everyone. So I've used my own money. I like it. It kind of reminds me of old opium, and it reminds me a little bit of Chypre Palatin from MDCI. Like it's a really deep, satisfying fragrance. And it's woody, it's spicy, it has like amber qualities. But I wouldn't recommend it for a blind buy because there is something in there. I've heard other people say that there's some note in there that that disturbs them a little bit. So I think definitely, you can get samples. She sells samples as well. Anyway, I just discovered a couple new fragrances that I want to tell you about. And one of them it's from the house of Wesker. And it is called Eau de Mystique. And me and my friend Clara, we went up north to this little shop called Fragrance and Art last summer. And I bought this fragrance, Histria, from the same line. And this is a dark green piney fragrance with orange blossom and hints of smokiness under there. Like I'm getting something like incense underneath. But it really fills a void in my collection. So I'm really happy with this purchase. And she got this. And she unfortunately, this one, like the bottle fell on like a steel frame of this, special bag that you pull, and it broke. And she managed to, I think like the top was cut off or something. So she managed to save like half the juice and made 2 big decants. But the smell was like all over her apartment. And she kind of got enough of it for a while. So she gave me this. And I said I would return it to her if I don't want, because I thought that this might have been a little bit too similar to Bengale Rouge from Papillon that I bought during our same visit there. And this is beautiful. This is a beautiful myrrh, honey. They're both honey. Like ambery, honey, myrrh, spicy, deep, dark, very, very potent. This one is really, really potent. But I find it a little bit too sweet to wear a lot. So I don't wear it that much. And I kind of regret maybe buying full bottle. I think a decant would have been enough. But I did go through a decant, like at least a half a decant a couple of years ago. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. I don't really regret it, I would say. But Eau de Mystique from Wesker. I think they're these 2 Croatian guys, but I think they're working out of Germany. Maybe they've gone back to like either Croatia, or was it some other country that belonged to the former Yugoslavia. I can't remember exactly what country they're in now, but their perfume is, their names are like, they have their signatures here on the front. I think the bottle, they've gone a little overboard with that one, but the bottle for this one looks nicer. It's transparent, but this is much more wearable, I think, than Bengale Rouge. I mean, this definitely has honey, and honey is can smell a little bit like pissy in the beginning, but you have to kind of wait for the dry down. I think that the opening of this is a little bit challenging. I mean, it has like all these citruses in the top, but there's honey, like ambery notes. There might be some patchouli in here. It's beautiful. When it dries down, it's so much of an much easier wear than Bengale Rouge. Highly, highly recommend it. I will wear this a lot. Perfect for the fall and winter. Okay, so then another fragrance. Oh, before we go on, I just want to mention like honey and other fragrances. I've always been a little bit on the fence about honey as a fragrance note. If it's used a lot, like if you can really tell that it's honey. I mean, honey can have a little bit of an animalic quality. And I don't know if you're familiar with Slowdive from Hiram Green, but that is really like even an unexperienced nose could directly pinpoint that it's honey. And I don't know if I would like to like walk around smelling like super potent honey, even though maybe I like the way it's made and it's beautifully made and it really is like realistic and natural. And this one also, 400 from Xerjoff, join the collection club. Join the club collection. Also has honey. This is some people describe this as a female version of Naxos, but I don't really agree. I think Naxos is too heavy, too sweet. This is not that sweet. It's sweet for sure, but like it's not as sweet as Bengale Rouge. This is more of a perfumey perfume. This one really lasts all day long. My only hesitation about this fragrance is that it has a note. There's a bitter note in here. It's bitter orange, and sometimes when I wear it, it bothers me. So I've been a little bit like, should I keep it or not? But I've decided to give it a few more wearings because, you know, sometimes, some days a fragrance just doesn't work. I don't know if this happens to you. Some days it does work. So maybe it was just one of those days. I don't know. Anyway, I have another fragrance that I really highly, highly recommend, that I've tried a few times at the counter in stores, and thought I really would like to get a decant or a sample. And then I saw someone selling a decant and I got it. And it is Daphne from Comme de Garcons. And Comme de Garcons is like completely new to me. I mean, I've tried them in stores and stuff, like, and I find them to be kind of like woody, incensey, maybe a little more masculine leaning, like overall, and just haven't been that interested. And I've gotten into incense a little bit, but I'm not like an incense freak or anything like that. They also have that fragrance Marseille that smells like French soap. It's beautiful, beautiful soapy fragrance. But this one is so intriguing. I really think this is something special. So this is an incensey, like it's slightly smoky, it's slightly spicy, it's floral, and it's tuberose. But it's not like a super dominant tuberose. Like even if you're a little bit sensitive to tuberose or you don't typically gravitate towards tuberose, you might like this because this is like, if you see tuberose kind of like that it's kind of sharp. It has these points like a star. The other notes come in between there and kind of soften up these points. Like so it's not, the edges aren't so sharp. It's the tuberose is kind of like all embedded in other notes, I think, and the smokiness really gives it character, and it lasted me all day long. I had my like typical 6 or 7 sprays, like a lot, and I thought I was smelling a little bit. It was a little bit much in the beginning, but I could smell it all into the evening. But I had to kind of like put my nose close to my arm. I was a little bit disappointed in the sillage, like the projection. I couldn't smell myself all day, which I sometimes like. You know, I like to enjoy my own fragrance. Like I wore, you know, Flower by Kenzo last week, and I could smell it into the evening myself for like 10 hours, 12 hours. Same with this one. Does not disappoint in terms of projection, but this one a little bit so. But I still recommend it. It's an Antoine Lee creation, and he has made some of the Les Indemudables fragrances. He did a whole bunch from État Libre d'Orange, if you're familiar with that brand. This is really, really good. Some of my friends say it has a really classic structure, like it has really a clear top, middle, and bottom. Maybe, you know, it has like iris and rose and patchouli. The patchouli I can definitely tell. I don't find it so vanillic. It has vanilla listed. I would have guessed maybe honey instead. It has amber. It even has oud, but I wouldn't have known. Saffron. Well, maybe. Jasmine. And I actually thought of, when I wore this, I thought a little bit of Epic Woman from Amouage. And that is a really large fragrance. I mean, that's almost too large to wear. It's like, I can almost not wear it by itself because it's so strong. But, and also I think the incense is a little bit too amped up in that one. But it's really nice to layer with like Blossom Love, which I think is a little bit too boring by itself. But together with Epic, it's really, really beautiful. But when I tried these side by side, I thought of Epic when I wore it, but when I tried them side by side, they're really not very similar, because there's just different dosing. They have quite many overlapping notes. So the overlapping notes are oud, incense, amber, iris, orris. I mean, the same thing, but they've written it differently. Patchouly, rose, jasmine, and vanilla. So there's lots of overlapping notes. So I wasn't completely off, and then Epic has the note of tea, and Daphne has the note of bitter orange, but these are both like bitter notes. So maybe this is why it's giving me a little bit of the same vibe. But this, so much more wearable, so much more affordable. Like it comes in a 50 ml bottle. I think they only have it in a 50. And it's the only one. There's not like a whole series of bottles. There's only one bottle, and it looks like it's kind of like a little round bottle. And the juice is sort of yellowish like this. And it's between $100 and $200, which I think is a really good price for such a good fragrance. I really, really like this fragrance. It's really nice. And I mean, even if you're not into incense, it's not only incense. Because these real heavy incense fragrances, they're not for me. I've ended up getting rid of those that are too much. I couldn't wear Caftan, finally, from YSL. It was too much incense for me. So, I mean, I liked it, but I just never wore it. I didn't gravitate towards it. Okay, and then I want to share one more thing. I bought a fragrance, just because it was cheap. Are you familiar with Boucheron? Well, this one came out for sale. A completely unopened flanker, which is called Boucheron Fleurs. Like floral Boucheron. It looks like this, only it's turquoise bottle. I'm not sure it's the bottle or the juice. I think the bottle is turquoise. But I immediately passed it on to my daughter because I realized I would never wear it. It's a fruity, floral, and smells like a typical designer. Like it's pretty fresh, but I just felt I'll never wear this. And she tends to like grab my easy wears. She likes fragrances like that. And it smelled really good on her. When she was walking around, I was getting whiffs of that. And I got it for like a super low price. It was like $15 plus postage or something, like nothing. And it's even cheap if you buy it online. I've seen it at discounters for like very, very low price. So if you're into that kind of thing, you can check it out. And then I'd like to share, let's see, what else did okay, I was going to share also my fragrance of the day, which is, my fragrance of the day is Monsieur from Frederic Malle, which is kind of a boozy, patchouli heavy fragrance that smells a little bit like a cellar. The opening is really challenging. I just sprayed it on my arm like just a few minutes ago. But I also have worn it, I have like a 4-hour dry down as well. The sillage is not incredibly potent, even though this is kind of a strong, deep fragrance. I think maybe it's a little bit on the bassy side, like there's not enough top notes. Like the opening is really like medicinal. It's a little almost like moldy. I'm going to spray it one more time just to kind of get so I can tell you a little bit about the opening with it fresh in mind. It's chemical. It smells chemical and it smells like a cellar at the same time. Maybe that sounds like a paradox, but I don't know. The opening's not good, but the dry down is really nice. I get leather from it. It's kind of I definitely think this is a masculine leaning fragrance. I wouldn't buy it. And I can't really tell that I'm wearing it myself. Because I mean, I had a good amount of it on, like put it on like 8 in the morning, and now it's 12, and I can hardly tell that I'm wearing it. So I think that like when I'm wearing something like this, Patchouly from Profumum Roma or Psychedelique from Jovoy, I can like smell myself like the whole time. The same with Kenzo flower, they're just I love that about a fragrance when you can really like enjoy your own fragrance. To me, that means more than that others think that I smell good. Fragrance is primarily for me. Anyway, I I'm going to share one more thing, but I think I'll save that for another video. I'm having problems with my computer. Like if I make a long video, sometimes it doesn't record for some reason. I think maybe I need to do some kind of a, some clearing out of my computer or something like that. So I'm going to try to make a shorter video now, and then I'll make another one instead. Okay, guys, that was all for today.